All right. So I think I want to touch on the need for publicity. I think I should. Is that where I want to go? Yes. Okay. I'll just talk briefly about that. If I get a chance to talk about another thing, maybe we'll do that this morning before we wrap up this call. But most importantly, this morning, I just want us to see the need for publicity. Publicity. I was telling someone that a skillful man who is not known for what he does is as good as the person that is unskilled. Because if you know how to do a particular work, a particular job, a particular thing, you can do it excellently well. But nobody knows that's what you do. It simply means nobody is going to give you work to do. And so, if nobody is giving you work to do, it means you are not going to, you are unable to profitably engage that skill. And if you cannot profitably engage it, it becomes difficult for you to say you are productive. Because, in true sense, profitability and productivity, they all go together, they go hand in hand. It's almost impossible for you to be productive and not be profitable. And should in case you are leaving one out of the other, that is, say you are productive and you're not profitable, it's only a matter of time before your profitability catches up with your productivity. But interesting part of it is productivity is almost impossible if nobody is actually engaging your skill. Nobody is engaging your talent. And so, how do you account for the resources you are putting in if nothing is coming out to you as a proceed from what you have done? So it simply says that the best of your skill or the best of your productivity will only be profitable when you use it to serve others, to serve people. It's like Alaga saying she's very talented, she knows how to do the thing very well. But nobody knows she does what she does. Not taking any events, not telling people. People want to say, hey, please, I'm shy. Please don't tell people. I just know I can sing very well. I just know I can make people dance. I just know I can make people event very lively. But she's not talking to people. Nobody knows what she's doing. At that point, it becomes difficult to say how productive or profitable you are. In fact, if any analysis is done as to how profitable you can be, it will only be a projection, not a reality. And more than anything else, reality speaks a lot of our state more than projection will ever do. And so, I'm saying this morning that if there's anything you do, let people know. And when I say let people know, it is time that we actually take it outside of the people that already know us. I can tell you that if the people who knows what I do are only the people that I know, it means the people that get to know what I do through them are only the people they know. So therefore, out of the people they know, it means it's only those who need my service and say it or mention it in their presence are just going to be the one who knows what I do. In fact, it gets slimmer that only those who need my service, who mention it in their presence, and at a point that I cross their mind, will only be the one who knows what I do. And I'll paint a scenario by asking this question. Has anyone ever told you that I'm looking for somebody who can do so thing. And then both of you talked about that thing for a period of time, pending the time you were there. And then maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour later, or even a day or two later after the conversation, you suddenly remember that you know somebody who can do that thing for them. But for one or two reasons, you can no longer put a call through. Either you do not have their contact, or somehow, somewhere you just couldn't reach out to say, I know so person who can do this thing for you. So that means, irrespective of how much you love that person who offers that activity or service, because they do not cross your mind at the point that that person needs it, you are unable to recommend them. You are unable to refer people to them. And so therefore, the importance of publicity. I'll tell you one thing I do now is, anytime I go out now, at least 2 people that I'm meeting for the first time must know what I do. At least 2 people. And then it depends on which gathering or where I'm meeting those people. If I'm meeting you in an event, say construction or whatever it is, something related to that, you're surely going to hear about glasshouse waters. You are going to hear a lot about it. Water works, bore drilling, plumbing works, water treatment, anything water will solve your problem. At least if I go out, if I meet you for the first time, you are going to hear about those things. In fact, more than you will know about me, you are going to know about glasshouse waters. And if we are meeting on a neutral ground, say in church or anywhere, and we get extensive time to talk, you are going to hear about glasshouse waters and then hear about smart edge consulting analytics. After all of that, you can then hear about me myself. That I do public speaking, I do personal training, I do all of those things. I write both poems and content and all of that. But most importantly, if I'm meeting you for the first time, one way or the other, no matter how short our conversation is, you get to hear about what I do. It might not exactly be the right way to go for whatever gathering or those who want to follow protocols, right? But it's just what it is, that is what works. By just telling people what you do, because that publicity is very important. Because I've also discovered that many times the biggest deal or the biggest break you are going to have may not necessarily come from within your circle. It most likely, most of the time, will come from even strangers. People who just like you and trust you from the way you carry yourself, you talk about yourself and what you do. And then they give you the benefit of doubt and they give you work. I'm saying the importance of publicity, how necessary, how important it is that you talk about the things you do regularly from time to time. You don't have to be in an environment where they're asking you to speak about it. As you are giving them the handshake, let them know. In fact, if you have your complimentary card, it's not enough for you to hand over your complimentary card and let them go. People forget. People drop your card wherever. But just by telling them, good day, I'm David, I do waterworks. And there is one thing I like about the way I even say it to people these days. When I tell people, hey, I'm David, I do waterworks, their next question is, what do you mean by that? Waterworks. And I'm like, I do waterworks, I mean plumbing, bore drilling, water treatments, almost anything that has to do with water. And they're like, oh, and I have somebody who's looking for somebody who wants to do that. Oh, and my mom is about to start building a house. Okay, I'll keep you in mind. Oh, and I have a project, I have a property somewhere that people are there and I want to do this for them. Okay, I'll keep you in mind. And that's how people have been coming again and again and again. And interesting that people are just interested to look at you and listen to you from the way you talk. I do waterworks. It's like they've not heard it in that way before. I mean, I'll not just tell you I'm a plumber or I'm a bore driller. No, that's the way everybody say it, yeah? And it's come everywhere. No, but once I say I do waterworks, they look at me with one kind and like, what does that mean? What do you mean by that? And then I tell them water treatment, plumbing works, borehole drilling, uh, geophysical survey, and everything. And they're like, oh, interesting. I have also person who want to do this. I have also projects that we're working on. And that, interestingly, for, should I say, about 4 to 5 months now, I can tell you there's been a difference in people's response to Glasshouse Waters than it has been since, I think, 2019. Okay, so there was, oh, Blessing should remember that there was a time we were taking proposals to different hotels, and on one of those occasions we got to we got to Fajo Hotel, and when we got to the place, they were like, this place is not your customer. Like the way the way the whole place looks like, no, these people cannot even do what you are saying you want to do. But as we were stepping out of the hotel, we saw people who were building something, and then we approached them and we just told them playfully, I do waterworks, ball drilling, this and that and that. And we talked about it. And before we know what's happening, the guy just said, okay, they just did a survey for them and they will need a borehole. But that I should come back the following day to see the survey, that the survey will be ready. I said, fine. Check the survey. And this was sometime in February. Was it February or January? January. Then we beat around the bush for some time. I made some consultation and submit bill for them sometime in February. I did not know any of them. We've not met before. I just saw them that day. I just decided to tell them what I was doing. By the grace of God, this week we'll be moving to that site to go and work for them. So there is need to keep doing publicity. I don't know, somebody I was telling that, have you seen YouTube making advert? To a large extent, it doesn't make sense to me because I think everybody's on YouTube. If you are not creating content on YouTube, you are watching one video or the other on YouTube. Either you're watching comedy, you're watching TED Talk, you're watching something that helps you, something that relieves you, whichever way, people are there. But YouTube is still making advert, telling people to use YouTube. Actually, the one that bust my head the most was when I saw Facebook adverts. Like, seriously? Even Facebook. So if all of those big names that are everywhere, in every country, in every state, every town and city can make adverts, how much more you? I went to somewhere to buy materials for Glasshouse Waters. As I made payments, and the thing brought out Glasshouse Waters, and the woman stood and she was like, wait, I've heard this name before. I said, that's it. You most likely must have heard this before. Before one of the attendants there said, oh, it looks like they've come here to buy something before. Another one, I think it was on Saturday, while we were talking to some people about the project they want to do. And I mentioned the name of the company, and they were like, wait, are you people, I think the person was asking if we were in Lagos or if we were in Ibadan, that I've heard this name before. This Kineko. I'm like, well, we are mainly in Abeokuta, but we have worked in Lagos, in Ibadan, in Ondo State. And I was like, wow, that he has heard the name before, this and that. And this is where it gets interesting. Because people don't just make decisions, first of all, based on how skillful you are. People trust you more based on familiarity. First of all, I've been seeing these people. First of all, I like these people. First of all, I've heard about these people. So if there's anything at all that you want to create to start with, it will be an awareness, registering yourself, registering your business in people's mind. Stare in their faces all day long. Enter their subconscious mind. By the time they want to deal with you, they'll be dealing with you as though you are their friend that they have known for quite a period of time. And that's what I want you to do. It's important that you publicize what you do. There's nothing like you are not ready, because you will never be ready. There will be no perfect time. There will be no time exactly when you'll be exactly ready to do that thing. If you want to be, let's say Alaga is saying she's not ready now, probably because she doesn't have certain material, or probably because there's a particular way people are doing things now that she does not know how to do yet. And because of that, she refused to talk, she refused to make publicity, she refused to take deals because she's thinking, I'm not perfect, I'm not there yet, I don't know everything I'm supposed to know. Sincerely, she will remain at that level of not knowing everything she needs to know. But if she keeps taking the naming ceremony, the small wedding ceremony, the whatever ceremony, it's only a matter of time before she becomes the pro that everybody is looking to meet. And that's the advantage of publicity. So as much as you can, make your advert. Well, you may not start with social media advertisement in the sense of you spending money on ads, but can you go out every day as you meet people, tell them your name, and tell them what you do? Tell them your name, and tell them what you do. You see, it's after many times when people have known what you do that they now want to know why you do it. Even though most of the time the reason they want to deal with you is because of why you do that thing. So therefore, it only makes sense that you go out from time to time and you tell people what you do. I'm David. I do waterworks. How about you? In fact, many times before I get to tell them, how about you, what do you do? They want to understand what waterworks means. And that's where the conversation gets interesting. Find a way of introducing yourself in such a way that people want to understand what you are saying, what you do. I'm so person. I make people happy. People will want to know what you mean by making people happy. People want to know what you mean by you help people grow, right? People want to know what you mean by you solve people problem. People want to know what you mean by you give people their dream home. It's all on you, it's all on your presentation, it's all on how you communicate. You won't just say I'm a plumber, you won't just say I'm a bore driller, you won't just say I do waterworks. So, people want to know, what do you mean by waterworks? Then I give you all the activities we do. And the interesting part is, for what water is, there's almost nobody who does not need waterworks. I mean, if you're not building your house that you need plumbing, the one you are currently living in, you are going to need repairs. You are going to need some fixing. If you are building your house, you most likely need somebody to pipe your house. You probably need somebody to do borehole drilling for you. If you already built it, your water is not good, you probably need somebody to treat it. If you just bought a landed property and you are looking to build a house, you're probably looking for somebody to do geophysical survey who will tell you the right place for you to do your borehole. There is almost always something about water that everybody wants to do. Why? It's because everybody uses water. But even with that, there are a lot of people doing it. Then we begin to tell you the thing that sets us apart, that make us different from every other person. We tell you why we are in that business. So, I'm telling us this morning to keep going. Every time you go out, that people see you doing that thing. Don't assume that people know what you do because they have seen you doing it. Still tell them, I'm David. I do waterworks. Let them see. Let everything about you talk about the things you do. From time to time, create that awareness. Subconsciously stay in those people's mind. Stay on their faces every day. When you are big enough and you have enough money to run some adverts, run it. But until then, be your own PRO. Be your own publicity manager. Let people know I make great designs. I'm a data professional. When you tell people you're a data professional, they want to find out which part of data you belong. And straight you engage them in conversation. Data analysis, and I mean, we can help you know what's happening in your business. In fact, we can help you see what you're supposed to look forward to in the next financial year. People want to know people that help them to know. Because if there's anything we as human beings like, is a level of certainty. And if you tell people as a data professional that we can help you know what to look out for in the next 1 year, we can help you know why what is happening in your business is happening, people will want to pay attention and want to know how you want to do that. But before you tell them how you do that, you tell them why you want to do it. And that makes a whole lot of difference. People trust you out of nowhere, they believe you, and they expect you to be a person of your word and just do for them what you said you can do for them. So I just want to say it's very important that you make adverts. In today's market, is very, very necessary, very important. For every successful endeavor, everything we engage in, advert is very important. Even if you say you do charity work, if nobody knows that you do charity work, nobody is coming to engage. It's like you saying, I do scholarship, say in memory of my pops, or that's what God has called me to do, or that's what I want to do with my life, just helping people to go to school without them having to pay. You don't want to sponsor them. If people still don't know that you have enough money to sponsor them in school for free, people still won't come. That's how interesting this thing is. So, as much as you can, announce yourself as much as you can. Talk to people about what you do. Let them know that you do it, that you are their best bet, right? And after then, you trust God to help you touch those people's mind. Because if you are not first on those people's mind, it can be difficult to stir them up about you. I mean, people can just suddenly know they want to do waterworks. They will call as many drillers as they have around them. What if I'm not exactly close to them? But if I've been on their faces, they've met me one time or the other, they have my contact, they have seen my Facebook, they have been to my website, they have seen all of those things. It's easy for them. And you check online, you see Glasshouse Waters. I mean, you want to check it out. And that's the beauty of all of these things. So make your adverts, check out those people as you go out, as you go to events, as you talk to people. Let them know what you do. Even when it seems that you are out of capacity, that is, you are so engaged that you cannot take in any more clients, still tell people what you do. And that's the minimum level of advert you can do. And the more you take, the more capacity you grow. And the more capacity you grow, the more people you can take. And then the more productive you can become. And most importantly, the more profitable you can be. So, go, make noise about what you do. Do the adverts. Let people know. Well, if you are shy like me, you may not be able to talk to everybody. If you are also unshy, like a part of me, then you know that everybody you have the opportunity of talking to, you tell them about what you do. Right? And so, once they know what you do, next time you are striking a conversation, it's easier to. In fact, there was somebody in church. The guy, since the time I just told him, I think his name is Aderiola or something. We just greeted that Sunday. I think it was a friendship Sunday or so. Just greeted. Hey, good afternoon. I'm David. I do waterworks. And I was like, oh, what do you mean by waterworks? Oh, I do plumbing works, borehole drilling, geophysical survey and stuff like that. I was like, oh, I have a project, though people are living there already and the well we have for them is not exactly serving them, so we're thinking of doing a borehole, this and that. I said, okay, we can do that for you. I mean, that's what we do. If you don't mind, we can do that during this week. And it's like, oh, I'm traveling to Abuja, I won't be able to do that this week, but let's exchange contact. So we exchange contacts. That week went, till now we have not done the work, right? But every Sunday, even when I want to greet him, just for the sake of greeting, like, just say hi. After the conversation, it's always like, the ball, right? No worry, I'm not forgetting you, we are going to do it. Let him know, have that kind of peace of mind that will make him say, guy, just go your go. But every time he see me, he knows that there is a deal we have not finished. There is a water work we must do. And that's the position you want to take in people's mind. That's the position Facebook is taking in your life. TikTok is taking in your life. YouTube is taking in your life. Look about those things that just stay at you every day. That's what Sabinus is doing in your life. That's what Brain Daughter is doing in your life. That's what all of those guys are doing. Even though you don't seem to need them now. You don't seem to be ready to invite them to your event. But every day they stare at you in the face. And every day you are looking at, if I just have that kind of money I'm looking for, if I just get to create that kind of event I want to create, this is the person that will come and speak there. This is the person that will be the MC. I know many of us may not have exactly considered that fact, that we would like to invite any of them to to be the MC at our event. But one thing is sure.
Me, I'll be the alaga one of VJ. Listen carefully. If God collect alaga, I will break your head.
So eventually,
I got you. So eventually.
So eventually, when that time comes, it's going to be a subconscious decision. Like Alaga is saying now, it's not a matter of I now want to feel, even if you are thinking, no, I want somebody big, before you think about 5 other people, Alaga is most likely going to pop up on your mind like 2-3 times before you pick the other 5 people that you want to think about. Many times, I know even because Alaga is better than any of them, not because he knows the work more than them, but because he's always on your face. If you call Baba Lamu, you know the next person that is coming to your mind in that family. If you think of Abeokuta, you are coming to Abeokuta, you know the next person that you are likely going to jam when you come to Abeokuta. And that's the way it works. So, the best thing you can do for yourself now is to refuse to be shy. Good morning, I'm Dami. I sell rabbit. People want to know, seriously, this and that. Good morning, I'm Favor. I rear pigs. It might look maybe not the kind of thing you want to do. Maybe some of you are looking to say, I'm a banker, I'm the founder of so. You may not necessarily have to start with I'm a founder, I'm a banker, I'm an engineer. No. Just straight to the point, you'll find an entry point that strikes or sparks an interest in the people you're engaging. How many people do you think you will tell I rear pigs that will not come back and say, really? You rear pigs? And what you are only looking for is that reaction for you to be able to spread out every other thing you do around it. And I found my own. I do waterworks. Every 9 out of 10 people I've told, they're always like, waterworks. And then I give it to them. In fact, one of them was like, waterworks, what do you mean by that? Like, they've not heard it in that way before. They want to understand, what do I mean by that? Then I do plumbing works, bore drilling, water treatment. In fact, swimming pools and water fountains, anyhow you want it. I'm like, oh. And then somehow, some way, they remember there was a project they are doing that they have not completed. Somehow, some way, they remember that their neighbor is doing one project. Their uncle, their aunt, their sister somewhere is doing one project. And then they will say, okay, let's share contact. Just yesterday in church, somebody was sitting close to me, and after the service, the pastor was like, meet 5 people, and hey, I'm David. I do waterworks. No, I think it was the first person. I just said I'm David, and it was like, I'm Pomi. That's his name. And like, I'm into construction. I said, wow, that's interesting. And the way I smiled, was like, are you into construction too? So, well, not exactly. I do waterworks. And I'm like, what do you mean? Plumbing, bore drilling, water treatment, this and that. I told him everything. I was like, oh, great. Wow, let's share contact. In fact, I was the one that brought the idea of sharing contact. So I'm just saying to us this week, this morning, to go consciously, bearing in mind the things we do, and carry it out there, because we are going to be the best billboard for our business, our work. We are going to be the best advert for our business and our work. We are going to be the best publicity for our business and our work. And the best you can do is just say it in a sentence. You don't have to speak a lot of English. Good morning, I'm David. I do waterworks. Good morning, I'm David. I build websites. Good morning, I'm David. I consult for businesses. Good morning, I'm David. I do graphic design. I beautify your website. So it can just be in a sentence. Once you say it that way, in a way that sparks interest in the person you are speaking to, it's like what they call hook. Once you hook them like this, they will stay there. They want to hear the next thing you have to say. And that's your entry point. Stay in their mind. Let people see you and they're like, wait, have I heard that name before? Exactly, that's the starting point. Once anybody tells you I've heard that name before, I've seen it before, it's always an entry point. Because by the time you get to do business with them, they are not treating you or relating with you as a stranger. They are relating with you on a level of familiarity. That is, I've heard this name, I've seen it before. And that's how they rub their trust on you. Just the way some of the gadgets, some of the cream, some of the movies you watch, you did not watch them because you just want to watch something. You watch them either because you have seen the advert somewhere, either because you know the person who is in the movie, either because there is something that sparks curiosity in you. That is, there is something they show that relates to the kind of things you agree with. And that's why you do it. Nobody exactly relates with a stranger as it may be. And that's the way it works. And you want to create that platform so that when you meet people, they are like, have we met before? Even those of us that shoot our shot at girls. As much as people say that trick has cast, that trick does not work again, it still works if you use it well. Hey, so you don't use familiar, you look familiar the way they use it. You just say, hey, have we met before? Won't be that one saying it like met before. They will be the ones suggesting the likely place you have met before. And then you tell them, no. Oh, I've only been there once. Even if you have not been there at all. And that way, you create a platform for conversation. And if you know how to play your games, and that's the beginning of a conversation that lasts forever. Right? So, I'm just saying to us this morning that we have to intentionally go out and keep telling people what we do. How that's been helpful this morning. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.